Hello viewers, in today's session we are going to discuss another important and conceptual problem from definite integrals, and in this class we are going to discuss this important problem in which we are going to use some important properties of definite integrals. So here we have to evaluate this integral where we have 0 to pi and the integrand is x times f of sine square x, and here we have dx, and we have to evaluate this integral when we are given the value of this integral, that is 0 to pi by 2 f of cos square x dx is equal to 2 divided by square root of pi, right? So let us see how we can find out the value of this integral using the value of this integral along with the important properties of definite integral. So let us first take this integral as I. So I is equal to 0 to pi, and we have x times f of sine square x and dx. Now let us make use of the property of definite integrals, which goes like this. If we have the integral 0 to a and f of x dx, then the value of this integral is equal to 0 to a and f of a minus x dx, right? So let us apply this property to this integral. So if we compare this integral with this one, then here we have 0 to pi and here we have a, right? So the value of a is pi, and this function f of x is given by this entire function, right? So we have x times f of sine square x as f of x. So let us replace these x by a minus x, and a is pi, so let us replace x by pi minus x in this integral. So we have now I is equal to 0 to pi, and this x is pi minus x, and then we have f of sine square pi minus x, and here we have dx, right? So now from trigonometry we know that sine pi minus theta is equal to sine theta. So sine square pi minus x is equal to sine square x. So now we have I and 0 to pi minus x, and here we have f of sine square x and dx. So let us take this integral as 1, and here we can now multiply these two terms by f of sine square x. So we have 0 to pi and pi f of sine square x dx, and then we have minus x f of sine square x and dx, right? Okay, so now we can write 0 to pi, so distributing this integral into these two functions, we have 0 to pi f of sine square x and dx, and here we have 0 to pi and x f of sine square x and dx. Now this integral is our original integral, right? So we can replace this integral by simply I. So we have I is equal to pi, taking pi outside the integral, 0 to pi and f of sine square x dx, and here we have minus I. Now taking minus I to this side, we can now write I plus I, and we have pi 0 to pi and f of sine square x dx. So I plus I is 2i, so I can be written as pi by 2 and 0 to pi f of sine square x and dx. So let us call this integral as integral 2, right? So now to move further, let us make use of another important property of definite integrals. So now we know this important property, that is 0 to 2a, and if we have f of x dx, then the value of this integral can be written as 2 times the integral 0 to a, and we have f of x dx, provided f of 2a minus x is equal to f of x, right? So this property is going to be very important to get the value of this integral, and will apply this property to this integral, right? So let us write this integral as 0 to here we have pi, so we can write 2 times pi by 2, because this 2 and this 2 get cancelled, and we are again left with pi, and here we have f of sine square x and dx, right? So now if we compare this integral with this one, then the value of a is given by pi by 2, right? Because here we have the integral from 0 to pi by 2, so we have written this pi as 2 times pi by 2, and let us see whether this condition is satisfied by this function or not. So here f of 2a minus x is given by f of 2 times, here we have pi by 2 minus x, and this 2 and this 2 get cancelled, and we have f of pi minus x, and f of pi minus x can be obtained by replacing this x by pi minus x. So we have here f of sine square pi minus x, right? And sine pi minus theta is equal to sine theta, so sine square pi minus x is again sine square x, right? So we have f of sine square x. So here f of 2a minus x is equal to f of x, that is f of sine square x. So we can now write pi by 2, and here we have this 2, because 2 times integral from 0 to a f of x dx. So we have 0 to pi by 2, and here we have f of sine square x dx. Now this 2 and this 2 get cancelled, and we have pi times 0 to pi by 2 and f of sine square x dx. So now this integral I is equal to this one, pi times 0 to pi by 2 f of sine square x dx. Now let us again apply the property of definite integrals, which we have applied initially, that is 0 to a, and if we have the function say f of x dx, then this is 0 to a f of a minus x dx. So here this capital F of x is equal to f of sine square x. So we have I, and here we have pi and 0 to pi by 2, and we have f of sine square pi by 2 minus x and dx. So replacing this x by pi by 2 minus x, right? So we know that from trigonometry sine pi by 2 minus theta is equal to cosine theta, right? So here sine square pi by 2 minus x is equal to cos square x, and we have 0 to pi by 2 and f of cos square x and dx. So now the value of the integral 0 to pi by 2 f of cos square x dx is given by this number, that is 2 over square root of pi, right? And here we have pi raised to 1, so we have 2 times pi raised to 1 minus half, because square root of pi can be written as pi raised to half, and applying the properties of exponents, we have 2 times pi raised to half. So we have 2 times square root of pi, right? So the value of this integral I is equal to 2 times square root of pi. So viewers, this is how by the application of the properties of definite integrals we can easily solve these kind of problems.